Kevin, we are, of course, awaiting for the Senate to begin voting on this temporary spending bill. Talk us through what happens in this case. When are they likely to begin voting? How long will it take? And then what happens? The House still needs to vote on it as well, correct?
Yeah, so I was speaking with an aide just about the procedure and what we're going to see. Sometime within the next hour, lawmakers in the Senate will vote on this. It's going to pass. They already had the 60 votes, the cloture procedural vote, and now they are set up for the actual majority vote. From there, at about 4:30 today, the House of Representatives will then have a vote. It will pass. Then the bill keeping the government funded through February 8th will head to the president's desk. He will sign it. The government is open. He then heads to Davos, then returns and comes for technically his first, as our producer Laura McDevitt pointed out. The last currently State of the Union address was actually a joint address to Congress. So his first State of the Union address will be next week. He'll lay out his vision. I want to read a statement from President Trump about the developments of the government reopening. He says that he's pleased that Democrats in Congress have come to their senses to reopen the government. He goes on to say, as I've always said, once the government is funded, my administration will work towards solving the problem of very unfair illegal immigration. We will make a long-term deal on immigration if and only if it's for the good of the country, end quote. Look, the government's going to be reopened. Now all talk is turning to DACA. I've spoken with several aides to prominent senators in Congress. You look at the cast of characters who might be running for president in 2020, all of them voting no against this cloture vote on the continuing resolution. People like Senators Warren, Booker, Gillibrand, Kamala Harris, Bernie Sanders. Look, they're frustrated with Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, and they don't understand why he made a deal with Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, and they're not convinced that Mitch McConnell will hold his word on negotiating a deal on DACA ahead of the March 5th deadline. Yeah,
the list of those names sounds suspiciously like people who might be running in 2020.
Right, yeah, yes. as Kevin is talking about here, so they perhaps have an eye on a different agenda. So, Kevin, all of that said, you know, we just heard Sarah Sanders giving a lot of lip service to the idea of some sort of permanent solution on immigration. All of those folks you mentioned want some sort of deal on immigration. Everybody, in theory, wants a deal on immigration. Is a deal on immigration going to get done?
It depends on who you ask. Look, earlier today, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer saying that he believes the president should negotiate with the minority party, the Democrats, and moderate Republicans. Earlier today, I spoke with Representative Mimi Walters, a Republican from California, someone who is a moderate Republican on the issue of DACA. She's hoping that there'll be some type of centrist fix in line with what the business community in Silicon Valley has been pushing for on the issue of DACA. Now, off camera, I spoke with Congressman Jim Jordan, a Republican from Ohio, a member of the ultra-conservative Freedom Caucus, someone who has a view of immigration that's in line with Stephen Miller. He wants to keep in line with Stephen Miller. So there is a divide within the Republican Party on policy. Point blank, I asked Congresswoman Walters whether or not she thought DACA was amnesty. She told me no.
Just very quick question, Kevin, quickly, on Wilbur Ross. Have you heard anything in your reporting regarding the relationship between he and the president?
Very quickly, I spoke with a source who within the administration earlier this morning who said that they had not heard of anything. Look, this is the type of palace intrigue story that we're going to have to carefully monitor. But as of now, there really isn't any suspicion that he's on the outs. He's still scheduled to attend Davos with President Trump later this week.